Welcome to the Fit Small Business QuickBooks Online Training course. In this lesson, we're going to cover how to manage downloaded credit card transactions in QuickBooks Online. To follow along with me, log into your QuickBooks Online account now, or click the link below for a free 30-day trial of QuickBooks Online. You can also click this link to access our full QuickBooks Online course and other helpful resources. Let's get started. When you import transactions from your business credit cards into QuickBooks, they are unposted. This simply means that you need to review them and provide some additional information before they can be added to your register in QuickBooks. In this lesson, we will show you how to review and categorize your credit card transactions so that they can be added to your register and financial statements. Let's go ahead and navigate to the Banking Center by clicking on Transactions on the left-hand menu bar, and then Banking. At the top of the Banking Center, all of the bank and credit card accounts that you have set up are at the very top of the page. If an account is linked to your credit card account, the top blue portion of the account box will show the credit card balance as of the date of the last sync. The bottom portion of the account box will display the current balance in the QuickBooks register, along with the number of transactions in the For Review tab. In this particular example, we've got 32 transactions listed in the box up above and the 32 transactions listed below waiting for review. If an account is not linked to your bank account, it will have a zero balance in the top portion of this box. Bank fee transactions are organized into 3 tabs: For Review, in QuickBooks, and Excluded. The For Review tab will show all of the unposted transactions. When you import transactions into QuickBooks, this is where they will appear until you review them and take action. The In QuickBooks tab will show all of the transactions that have been matched or added to the QuickBooks register. And the Excluded tab will show the transactions that have been removed from the For Review tab by you. You want to go ahead and begin with the For Review tab. Within this tab, there are 2 additional tabs. One is the All tab, and the other one is the Recognize tab. On the All tab will list all transactions, including those on the Recognize tab. The Recognize tab includes those transactions that QuickBooks recognized as already recorded in your register. For those transactions, it will display a green match tag next to the transaction, as you can see here. To add this transaction or any match transaction to the register, you simply want to click the match link in the far right column, and QuickBooks will add the transaction to the QuickBooks register and include it in your financial statements. So it will move from the For Review tab to the In QuickBooks tab. Most people tend to be creatures of habit. Whether you are running out to grab lunch or to the office supply store to get ink for the printer, you will most likely purchase these items from the same retailer. QuickBooks will recognize vendor names or descriptions that you have previously downloaded and will make suggestions as to which account transactions should be coded to. If you accept the suggested account, QuickBooks will change the account for all transactions of that same name. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example here. This Federal Express item, if we go ahead and select that, this first field we want to go ahead and complete the payee information. So we'll put Federal Express. Federal Express is not set up in our vendor list, so we'll go ahead and click the link below that says Add Federal Express, and then we can actually save it to our list from this screen. The postage field here is the account that we want to categorize this transaction to. So this is our chart of accounts, and we want to go ahead and categorize this to postage, and so we'll do that there. The last field here is the description that was downloaded from the credit card company. And we could keep that description or we could actually change it to something more specific. So for this example, we could put in the customer who we delivered the package to, in this field here. So once we complete this field, this transaction will be ready to add to the QuickBooks register. And it's as simple as that, as reviewing your transactions. So we'll click Add, and this transaction will move from the For Review tab and over into the In QuickBooks tab. When managing downloaded transactions in the Banking Center, there are a couple of issues that you may need to troubleshoot. Transactions that have already been matched is one of those, and sign-in errors is another. Let's deal with transactions that have already been matched. Sometimes a downloaded transaction has been matched to the wrong transaction in the QuickBooks register. This can happen for a number of reasons, but usually because the registered transactions are for the same amount and fall within the same date range. To fix this, you simply want to locate the transaction on the In QuickBooks tab, and you want to go down and locate the transaction that was incorrectly matched. So we'll go ahead and select the Federal Express transaction. Over to the right is a link that says Undo. And so we'll go ahead and undo that transaction because it was incorrectly matched. So this transaction will move back to the For Review tab so that it can correctly be matched later on. So we can click over there, and now we've got our Federal Express transaction that shows up on the For Review tab. The other item that might occur is if you see a red error message similar to this one, more than likely your user ID or password for your credit card account has changed. And you need to go ahead and update QuickBooks with this information. So you want to click on this Fix It link, and it will take us to a screen where you can actually enter your user ID and password. Now, if for some reason you did not change your user ID and password, but you're still getting this message, go ahead and follow these steps. And instead of clicking the Update Sign-In Info button, you're going to click the Update and Refresh Account button. Since your QuickBooks has to be connected to the internet in order to receive downloaded transactions, there are times when the connection is lost between QuickBooks Online and your credit card account. And so this could be another reason why you might need to come in and update this information even if it hasn't changed. You still want to complete the user ID and password fields and then select Update and Refresh Account. And that should actually resolve the problem. You can reduce the amount of time that it takes to code and record transactions in the Banking Center by setting up bank rules. QuickBooks will use bank rules that you set up to automatically code transactions to the right account for you. Let's create a bank rule for our Bluehost transactions. So up at the top of the screen, we want to go ahead and click on the drop-down arrow to the right of the Update button. From the drop-down, select Manage Rules, and then go ahead and click the New Rule button in the upper right-hand corner. So here are the fields that we need to complete for our rule. The first field is we want to give this rule a name. So we'll just use our payee as the name of the rule. In this field here, we need to tell QuickBooks, are these transactions coming in or going out? And so we want to go ahead and say this is money out. These are expenditures for us. In the next field, we have the opportunity to select the accounts that this rule will be applicable for. So this could be for credit cards, bank accounts. We have the option to tell QuickBooks which accounts this is applicable to, and we could select the default all bank accounts. So we'll do that. Now let's talk about the conditions. Condition here basically says when a transaction meets any or all of these conditions. So when you click the drop down, you have two options, all or any of these conditions. Now, if you've just got one condition, then all is going to do it. But if you set up multiple conditions, then you need to determine whether or not all of them need to apply. So we'll set up a rule or condition that says description contains Bluehost. You have the option to say the description is exactly or does it contain. I don't recommend is exactly, because typically the description that downloads from the bank might be a little bit different from what you have. But we're comfortable with saying as long as the description contains Bluehost, this rule applies. If you want to set up another condition, you click the add line underneath there. So what will happen is if both of these conditions are to be met and you select all, then you'll notice and to the left of the conditions, right? So the word and there. So that means when a transaction meets all of these conditions, that means both of them. If you select any, then notice that it changes to or. So either of these conditions would work if you have or any selected. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and set up a second condition, and we'll say if the bank text contains Bluehost, then this rule will apply. Okay, so we'll just copy and paste Bluehost down. And so what we're saying here basically is when a transaction meets either of these rules, whether the description has Bluehost or whether the bank text contains Bluehost, then go ahead and apply this rule. So now what we want to do is tell QuickBooks what the transaction type will be. So we've got expense, check, and transfer as our options. So we want these transactions to be categorized as expense. And then from the drop down, you can select your payee. And if you don't have the payee set up, you can click the add button there and select and add the payee directly from this screen. How do we want to categorize these transactions? So our Bluehost transactions are going to be categorized as advertising. Again, if the account that you want to categorize isn't set up, you can do that directly from this screen by selecting the add new option. Okay. And then we've also got a memo field here. And so we can put in a description that we want to appear anytime these transactions come through. All right. So let's recap our rule. Basically what we're saying here is for any transactions that are going out of all of our bank accounts and the description contains Bluehost or the bank text contains Bluehost, we want those transactions coded as an expense, going to our Bluehost payee, categorized as advertising on our chart of accounts with a memo of monthly fee. Okay, so basically that's what that is. And then last but not least, this final box automatically add to my books can save you a ton of time. So what this means is anytime a transaction meets these requirements, instead of going to the For Review tab, QuickBooks will automatically add these transactions to your register. So one tip I will give you is I recommend that you still review these transactions in the register to ensure that the rule is working as you expect it. So you want to just make sure that the transactions are going through properly into your register. And so if you set this up, just make sure that you're good about doing that. So we'll go ahead and save that rule. And that wraps up the lesson on how to manage downloaded credit card transactions in QuickBooks Online. To access our full QuickBooks Online course or any of the other lessons in this series, click this link. You can also find a link below this video for a free 30-day trial of QuickBooks Online. If you have feedback about this course or if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe.